Exhibition games were very difficult for us. This game even more so than last because you're basically chasing around 5 guards. And it's great shell defensive practice, but it takes a lot out of you. And it's very, very good defensive practice. And it affected our offense. You know, Luke Hancock had no legs. A lot of our guys were just really, really off. But from a defensive standpoint, it was great playing against them because we had a guard on the perimeter. Bigger guys had a guard. Most of the night we did a good job of switching. We broke down when we got a little tired and we stopped talking. But our defense was good, and that's what we're trying to build on. But I really do think our poor shooting tonight from the outside was just a product of rushing and just having tired legs from chasing them around. But they did, most of the night they did a really good job of chasing them around.
The rebounding, was that a product of chasing them around defensively as well?
Well, what happens is when you take a lot of jump shots, they're long rebounds, and you stop in the 3, and you got to go chase it and go after it and get the basketball. And that was probably the biggest disappointment. The shooting is like we know we're not a great shooting team. It's evident, but the long rebounds were big. And, you know, when you hold a team to 19% shooting and then 34% shooting, and you give them second looks, that just you're shooting yourself in the foot. Especially when you break, it was almost like 80%.
Another little stretch without seeing that point guard like what you saw?
Yeah, that's not. We can play without Peyton, certainly. We've got to get Luke Hancock in shape to play, although it doesn't look like it's a fast-paced game. You know, when you play Bellarmine, you got to guard like 7 or 8 different cuts every time down the floor. So from a defensive practice standpoint, it was great. But all the things you saw Bellarmine do defensively, you're going to see Manhattan do it. You know, it's our games are all on TV, and any weakness that we had tonight, they're going to do.
How much better do you feel like you guys can get defensively because you have kind of the flexibility to switch on picks as much?
Well, I thought our bigs did a good job of containing. I thought that Wayne and Russ did a bad job, you know, of talking and switching. You know, but that'll come. I thought overall the defense was decent.
Rick, you've mentioned Montrez's struggles at defensive rebounding. He has 2 tonight. Was that also a product of the long rebounds?
Yeah, I remember Montrez is not going to defensive rebound because he's guarding a 6'6" guy all the way out by the 3-point line. So that wasn't the problem tonight. It was really the guards not rebounding. You know, they should all have 5 and 6 rebounds in the game, and they didn't. Biggest disappointment was the high lows were wide open, and we threw it at eye level. If I had to pick the most glaring things, it was the high low passes. They're just very simple plays. You can never be short. You have to be long on it.
Coach, were there any positives to take away from tonight?
You know, we're going to know on Sunday how good we are. I don't put a whole lot of stock in this game. I don't put a whole lot of stock in the Pikeville game. You're just not going to see, you know, 6'11" guys chasing 6'1" guys. Just not going to do. We're going to have to handle pressure against Manhattan. They're going to play exactly like we will in terms of all the pressure, changing defenses and so on. And it'll be a much better test of how we play. I think tonight all our switching and all our movements on defense tired us out on offense. And that's why we're short a lot on our shots, especially a guy like Luke Hancock.
Kevin got out there tonight. What did you think of him?
I thought he played well. I don't think Kevin's a 3-point shooter, and you know, reminds me of a young man I coached at Kentucky one time, Roderick Rhodes. He's a great slasher, great rebounder, great passer, great defender. And what does he try to do every time? Shoot threes. So you know, I just don't think that's his game. I think if he's wide open and the clock shot was winding down, I think by all means you should take it. You can't shoot an elevated shot like he shoots from the 3-point line. You're going to shoot a line drive. So he's got to learn to jump less, and he'll have more arc on his shot. But I thought he did okay. He was pressing too much with his shooting, and he'll get better.
Was the 19 attempts, was that a product of the legs and maybe settling? Or? I
think it is with Luke. I don't think besides Luke we got a bunch of really good shooters from the 3-point line. I think Kevin's a very good mid-range shooter. I think we just got a bunch of guys right now coming off. You know, I think Wayne Blackshear is nowhere near where he needs to be. You know, he's coming off double shoulder surgery, not being inactive for 18 months, and even though he looked good in that one game in the Final Four, he's really just starting to play basketball consistently again. So we're going to be very patient with him. I thought Russ has been playing great. Russ let his offense tonight affect how he played, and that's a sign of a freshman, not a junior.
Were you successful in not giving Mass any video for Sunday over these last 2 games?
Do you not know that our games are on in New York?
You said you didn't want to show him anything.
Yeah.
Were you successful in that?
He knows what we're going to do. He's been with us, and we know what he's going to do. He's got a very good basketball team, much better than we have faced so far. And you know, they are tough kids. They play great defense. They challenge every shot. They contest. They draw a line in the sand. You know, and we know exactly how they're going to play, and they know how we're going to play, and we're going to have to make some shots against them. But they're going to press us quite a bit, and we'll probably press them quite a bit. So, although you're probably going to see mostly zone. You know, again, you're going to see him probably play mostly zone because he played mostly zone last year.